next piece is a world premiere of a piece nobody's ever performed this before in the form that it's in right now, a piece written for orchestra, voice. It's actually a jazz orchestra because we also have a single vocalist, a drum set, we've got bass guitar, we have a saxophone soloist as well as a flugelhorn soloist. All of this was written by faculty member, Professor Gabriel Espinosa. Now, if you read your program, you can see all of the things that he's done. He has performed throughout the world. He's recorded multiple albums and CDs, has played with lots of Grammy winners. In fact, just a few weeks ago, he had a performance with a multiple Grammy winner singer in Des Moines. He is a fantastic colleague and just a tremendous person to work with. I feel like I have been blessed, and I'm so lucky to have spent the time with Professor Gabriel Espinosa that I have been able to spend so far. So without further ado, Professor Gabriel Espinosa.
Good evening, and welcome again to the orchestra concert. First of all, I would like to give thanks to the orchestra, to Eileen, for the opportunity to do this piece. I remember I did one piece with the orchestra perhaps 10 years ago, a song for Ray Martin. And it's been 10 years, and now I'm gonna be able to do a piece again. So thank you very much to all of you guys for playing this piece, number one. Number two, I'd like to thank especially to the band that came from Des Moines and Cedar Rapids, Dave Cabral on flugelhorn, Brian Schumacher on saxophone, Tim Cromley on drums, Penny from Pella, and Kirsten, student from Central College. Thanks to the band. Number three, I'd like to give thanks to the arranger of the piece. I wrote this piece perhaps 3 years ago, and you're gonna hear the story of the piece. That's why we didn't put anything on the program. We're gonna play a video where you're gonna know what Amelia is all about. And then I sent that piece to a friend of mine, Linwood, and he wrote this beautiful arrangement. Number four, this special song, well, I'll tell you, after you watch the video, I'll say the couple of extra things that I wanna say. Please play the video, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Cecilia, Amelia's mom. And Uncle Gabriel asked me to share Amelia's story because although it was brief, it had a profound impact in our family, especially on me. So my husband Hugo and I had been trying to have a baby for many years, and after 3 lost pregnancies, we finally got the happy news that we were expecting twins, a boy and a girl. Since the beginning, we got to see them through the ultrasounds, and we were amazed of how different they were, how different their personalities were. Rodri was super calm, super peaceful. He's no longer like that. He was only like that during pregnancy. But Amelia, she was so energetic, so full of life. She was moving constantly. She had a spark that would never stop. So we were really, really happy with everything. Unfortunately, the good news didn't last long. As very early, the doctors told us there was something wrong with our little girl. She was very small and she was not growing at the pace she should. She had severe growth restriction, and as pregnancy continued, this development gap would continue to grow until she would no longer be able to survive inside the uterus. Additionally, I had a high risk of miscarriage, so I was hospitalized and put to bed rest during the rest of the pregnancy. Amelia's condition was so severe and it started so early that it would be almost impossible for her to reach the viability point at week 25, when it's possible to take the baby out of the uterus and continue their development in an incubator. Doctors estimated that she wouldn't live past week 21, and there was nothing they could do. But then, on top of this, there was also Rodri. If she didn't survive beyond week 25, at the moment she passed away, I would have a high risk of starting contractions and giving birth to both of them. This meant that Rodri wouldn't survive either. So things were really complicated at the time. There was nothing I or anybody could do but wait day in and day out while lying down in a hospital bed, just thinking over and over again, why was this happening to us? The days had never been so slow, so sad, and so full of affliction. I literally counted and marked each day in a calendar, and each night before going or trying to go to sleep, I would thank for that day and appreciate that I was one day closer to hope. So the days became weeks. We reached week 21, and my little girl was still there. She was living, she was moving, as always, she was fighting. Then week 22, then week 23, and at that point she reached a critical stage in which doctors thought it was the end, but then she kept going and going, and the doctors were actually really surprised. They told me that they had never seen a case like that, at least in the hospital, and that this was very rare. These cases never dragged for so long. So they figured out what was going on. She was fighting, but she was not fighting for her life. She was fighting for her brother's life. She was clinging to life to give him a better chance to survive. Finally, Amelia passed away at week 27, when it was viable for Rodri to survive. The pregnancy went on for another 3 weeks, and Rodri was born at 30 weeks. Still really premature and with a lot of risks. But he was very strong, and he soon overcame all the risks. Today, Rodri is a strong, healthy, and happy little boy, and I know it's greatly because of Amelia. Amelia was also responsible for bringing me closer to family and friends. I received so much support and care from my friends and from family that it made me realize how much love we have in our lives. And I even reconnected with people I had grown apart from. Amelia was a shooting star in our lives. So brief, but so bright. She came and went, but she touched our lives forever. She made us revalue what's important in life and appreciate what truly matters. The miracle of life, which is so fragile, health, which we usually take for granted, the warmth of home, and the love and care of family and friends. I still feel the sadness and the sense of loss, and I know I will always feel it, but I still wouldn't change what happened, and I wouldn't change having Amelia in our lives, and I would never change being Amelia's mom. She will always be part of our family, and she will always live in our hearts. I want to thank Gabriel for composing this beautiful piece inspired on my little girl's story, and I want to thank Central College Community Orchestra for playing Amelia tonight.
also thank the choir, Mark Babcock and the choir, for participating in this piece. This is for Amelia, Hugo, and Ceci, watching in Colombia. Perfect piece for Divine Sunday.